Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Aging and Strong. I am Steve Malloy. Make sure as you're coming in, you hit that like button and whatever platform you're on watching this show, come over here to the YouTube channel, come into the chat. If you'd like to make comments or just listen and join the community over here. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that bell down there and subscribe, and then you can share with all your friends and all your family. Today we have a very special guest that is will be coming on. Uh, he should be on here shortly. He is in Vegas. He is in Las Vegas. That is the former World Boxing Association middleweight champion of the world, Austin Trout. And he's presently is the Bare Knuckle Welterweight champion of the world. So he made a transition from glove boxing to bare knuckle. So we're going to talk to him about that. We're going to talk to him about his journey leading up to his world championship boxing career. We're going to talk about his transitioning from the glove boxing to bare knuckle, and a little bit about the fight last night, which was a great fight between Canelo Álvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford. And also, Austin is involved with training older fighters. Since this is Aging and Strong, I wanted to focus on that as well. He does train some aging fighters and masters. He deals with people with traumatic brain injury and also Parkinson's disease as well. So we can talk a little bit about that, how boxing has helped these folks in their, dealing with their brain injuries and Parkinson's and things like that. So should be a good show today. Let's talk a little bit about the fight before we get Austin up here. He should be up here in a few. Man, what a fight it was. Canelo Álvarez is my favorite boxer and still is. And going into this fight with Bud Crawford, there was a lot of talk about Crawford, his weight going up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. And so there was this, concern about Bud moving up in the weight classes. And I had a little concern too. I was kind of thinking about that myself. But man, sure didn't affect him in the ring last night. He was in complete control of that fight. He looked very calm in there. Very, very calm. And Canelo had no answers. Canelo had no answers, and to be honest, I didn't know how the fight was going to go. I really didn't. It 2 great fighters in there, high boxing IQs, very skilled. Both are undisputed champions. So yeah, it was a real good fight. Canelo seemed confused. He seemed confused in there, and I think even he had the press conference, and he was even saying that they were asking about whether what happened in there. What was Crawford doing? Was it his power? Was it his movement? What was it? And Canelo answered, "It was everything. It was everything." He was very humble and honest, and he was honest and didn't make any excuses. He said he was trying. He did everything he could, and I get it, and a lot of folks are also asking him about his power, right? They said, "Well, Canelo, did you throw your best power punches at Crawford?" And he said, "No, he didn't. He didn't get a good shot in there." And I understand why, right? you know, Terrence Crawford was the pivoting, the movement. He was keeping him away with that jab. You know, Canelo couldn't get through. It was, and it's awkward fighting a southpaw anyway, kind of, especially for Canelo. He doesn't like fighting southpaws. So you could see that was just throwing him off balance, totally throwing him off balance. But anyway, so you know, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and just so happens, excuse me, let me send the link to Austin here. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Let me get this. Thought I'd send it to him, but apparently I did not. That's the if I can send it. Yeah. This may take a minute. Forgive me. All right. Almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. Bear with me. Might have to do it another way here. One moment. Let's see if we can get it over there. There we go. Let me call up my producer here. Maybe he can help me out. We'll get it, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about this. So while I wait here to see if we can get Austin on, we're having problems with the link. Yeah. So as it turns out, it went the full distance with Canelo and Crawford, and Canelo ended up losing that fight. As I said, I didn't know who was going to win that fight. But anyway, talking about the Aging and Strong podcast, we're going to have a lot of folks that are coming on. Uh, Hold on. I think I can do this. Let me see if I can send this. One moment. We should have him on here pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of good guests on. I'm going to have a heart doctor on here. He's going to talk about cholesterol and heart disease and things of that nature. What is his diet recommends and all that kind of stuff. So should be a good show as well. I'm trying to get um Safe Carmen from Uma Fight Camp, trying to get him on here. He's going to talk about self-defense, a little boxing as well, and for the older folks as well. So we're going to have a lot of good stuff on here coming up in the next in the next few weeks. So we'll see how it goes. So without further ado, let me bring up uh, former world middleweight boxing champion of the world, Austin Trout. Austin, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Steve. How you doing, champ? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh man, thank you for coming on. I know you're up there in Vegas, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're
Yeah.
training for your next fight, is that correct?
Training out here. I'm training Christine Ferreira. She has a fight coming up October 4th as well. It's the Queen of Violence, and we're getting her ready for that fight as well.
Okay, so you're training her right now.
Well,
Got
I'm working with. She's training herself. I'm just helping out. You know what I mean?
I got you. I got you. I got you. Now you have an up and coming fight here in December in the Bare Knuckle uh, arena, correct?
Yes, sir. God willing, it all works out.
That sounds great. That sounds great. So, can you name your opponent or?
Oh no, it's a rematch. It's gonna be a rematch for my third title, second weight class in the bare knuckle. I'm going for the 155 title, and yeah, Palomino is gonna be the first stop for that.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Now, were you at the fight last night? Were you at the w-
Yeah,
or
yeah, I was at the fight. It was a great
okay?
fight, man. Bud Crawford really put on that hell of a performance. Shout out to Canelo. He's still a hell of a fighter as well. You know.
Yeah, yeah, he is. And that's something that you and I had I think we talked about it the last time a couple months back. We were kind of shooting the breeze, and we were talking about how important the jab is,
Yeah,
how
man.
very important the jab is, and we were kind of going back and forth and talking about how it's your offense, it's your defense. Uh, and I feel that way too when I was boxing and stuff, not professionally, of course, but when I was always told, use that jab, use that jab. That when you throw that jab, it's going to make that other person do something, right? and
Exactly.
and yeah, and that way, you kind of control the rhythm and the tempo of the fight. And that's exactly what Bud did. Bud was
Yeah.
keeping that jab, flipping that jab out on Canelo, and he was in control of that fight. And not only that, but Bud has tremendous footwork. He's a southpaw like you are, and that just kept Canelo off balance, you know. And I love Canelo. He's my favorite fighter right now in the middleweight, super middleweight division. Um, Still a great fighter. I mean, these were two warriors going at it in the ring. I know there was some talk about Crawford, his weight moving up in weight, two weight classes. What's your opinion on that? Do you think that has an effect on a fighter moving up two weight classes like that?
Well, I mean, absolutely, of course, it's got an effect on the fighter. But on the flip side, if you look at history, I mean, the smaller guys always came up and beat the bigger guys. Roy
Hmm.
Jones Jr., Andre Ward was a great example of that because I remember the 2004 Olympics. He went up two weight classes because he had a camaraderie with Andre Durrell, who was the 165 pounder, or the 160 pounder. So
Hmm.
Andre Ward went up to 175 and he dominated. Um,
Right.
Smaller guys always beat the bigger guys, and
Mm.
Crawford proved that last night as well.
He did. He did. That's crazy. That's crazy. And also, I know it's pretty interesting, and we'll get to mainly the main focus of what I wanted to talk to you about. But since it's appropriate, you were in Vegas, you were at the fight. I thought it'd be a great time to talk about this. But yeah, Canelo after in the press conference after the fight, they asked him about Bud's skill, and
Yeah,
what was it? Was it his movement? Was it his punching power? What was it that you know that that gave you the trouble, the problems in the ring? And he said everything. He
yeah.
said everything. It's crazy. And and then he also asked him, the interview asked him about the fight between Canelo and Mayweather. And
Hmm.
he said, how would you compare that fight between, now granted it was years back, but he said, how
Right.
would you compare that fight, between, how would you compare Bud and Mayweather as far as fighters go? He says Bud is a better fighter than Mayweather. Better fighter than Mayweather. And I don't know, man. You got to believe that now because
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I
you know,
agree. I mean, Canelo was at his prime when Mayweather decided to take the fight.
yeah,
Um, the thing about Bud is, excuse me.
sure.
Oh, sorry. The thing about
Hmm.
Bud is that he really destined for he went for greatness.
Yeah,
We can't necessarily say that about Floyd. Floyd went
exactly.
for the biggest and the baddest, but he didn't necessarily go for the greatness. And shout out to Terrence Crawford, man. He really just proved a lot of naysayers wrong.
Hmm. Yep, for sure.
Hmm.
100%. Agree with you 100%. So switching gears here, Austin. Uh, I would like for you to share with everyone, basically, how did you get started in boxing? Your journey. Can you give us a brief overview how you started and got to the point that you've reached in the glove boxing arena?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was a fan. My mom was a fan, so I was a fan. And I remember my mom would say things like we watched, Ali versus all the greats, Ali
Hmm.
versus Foreman, Ali versus
Yeah.
Frazier. And she would say things like that's one. This is the hardest thing that you could ever do, and you see these men and da 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 da. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so as a man coming up under a single mom who would say that that's what men do, I always feel like boxing was what a man should do, or if
Hmm.
if anything else, if I could be good at boxing, I could be good at being a man. I didn't know.
Right, right.
So boxing was just, I mean, it was the standard. You know what I mean?
Whoop. He should come back. He kind of went out. He probably got a phone call. So we'll see if he comes back in. But yeah, yeah, everything he's saying is awesome. Yeah, go ahead, man. We lost you for a
I'm
second.
sorry. I'm sorry about
No,
that. Yeah,
you probably got a call or something.
it was a call. Yeah, sorry
Yeah,
about
I
that. It's my
figured it
wife.
was. I figured it was. Oh, wow. Hey, that's important, man. You better
Oh,
answer
this is the most important. The most
that. But
important. Yeah.
yeah,
She
but
she
but
she
anyway.
gave me permission. She was like, "All right,
Oh, okay, good, good, good,
you can
good.
do the
That
interview. You're good." Yeah.
Good, good. That's good to go. I'm glad she did. I'm glad she did. Oh man. So you were saying that so basically your mother set the example for you. She kind of put that seed in you to box. Now, I don't know, I don't want to get too personal, but were you a troubled kid? Were you kind of a kid that got in trouble? Were you, what was your what was it like growing up for you? Did you get in a lot of street fights, or and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't want to say I was a troubled kid, but yeah, I mean, there was trouble, and I
Right.
got in trouble.
Uh-huh.
And boxing, in many ways, was a way to help me stay out of trouble. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Like my mom did a really good job, and I don't ever want to take away from the work she did and
Mhm.
say, "Oh, I was a trouble kid." I wasn't. I mean, I
Yeah,
was I
yeah,
was a
yeah.
good kid. I was always good. My mother she instilled goodness in me, but at
Uh-huh.
the same time, you know, you're gonna excuse me, you're gonna figure out what you can and can't do, and my mom can only she can only do so much. So no,
Sure.
I wasn't a troubled kid. I was a good kid, and my mom
Mhm.
she made me a good kid, but I did definitely get in trouble.
Sure,
And
like we all did.
right. Um, but boxing was, I mean, if you're gonna, you have coaches that you don't want to kind of piss off or let down, and of course my mom too, and just having someone to let down is a big deal. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When I had
Mhm.
somebody let down coming up, so
Mhm.
um, in that sense, boxing helped keep a standard for me. And not
Mhm.
saying that my mom didn't. She helped hold a standard, but who's gonna make me uphold that standard? But
Mhm.
boxing made me uphold that standard.
Okay, so it gave you some stability, an outlet, that
Yes,
kind of thing.
there you go.
Gotcha. Got
A
you.
lot of
How old were
stability.
you how old were you when you started?
I was about 10 years old.
About 10 years old.
And like most 10-year olds, I didn't think that was gonna be the path. It was a path,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
definitely believe like, oh yeah, this is a path. I'm gonna be a boxer, and I'm also gonna be a baseball player and a basketball player, but it was definitely a path.
Got you. So you did play other sports as you growing up.
Yeah, yeah. Like all kids, I tried all kinds of
Gotcha.
things.
Gotcha. 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 So when did you what point in your life was it someone that inspired you, someone that encouraged you that said, hey, you got the skills, you've got the talent, I think you should pursue this. What at what point did you make your mind up and say, hey, I'm going to do this for a living?
Well, honestly, I remember I made it to the national tournament when I was about you know 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just making it to the national tournament, you get ranked nationally. You're really above, or not above, but you're in the mix of some good names that I've seen on the national list and things like that. But once I made
Mm-hmm.
it there, I was like, all right. I mean, I trained pretty hard, but now these people, they hit hard. They're fast. They're like, I saw things that I saw
Yeah.
things that made me decide, like, all right, you're gonna have to go forward and go hard, or
Yeah.
you need to let this go. And so I really wasn't about quitting anything. So I went forward. Um,
Uh-huh.
and I realized that with a little extra, work, I was better and up to par with these, national champions.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Very interesting. Very
Mhm.
interesting. So, at what age or at what time did you turn professional? When was your first professional fight?
I was 20 years old. Um,
Okay.
and my birthday is coming up soon, so
Oh,
shout
great.
out to the Virgos around here. But remember, I turned. I was 20 years old. Gosh, and I just had my first pro fight.
Uh-huh.
And I was coming back to New Mexico. I mean, my pro fight was in Albuquerque. I came back
Right.
to New Mexico. I was basically a pro. I didn't know, and then um, I found out kind of the hard way because I got into a fight, and they're like, "Your hands are registered." I was like, "What? I never registered my hands." They're like, "Yeah, don't do that." And so I was like, "All right, all right, I won't do that no more."
So you were a bad boy.
A little bit, well, I'm a good man.
I know. I'm only kidding,
I'm a good
Austin. I'm only
man.
kidding, my friend. I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you are, brother. But yeah, so you got into a fight and you realize, wait a minute, my hands are registered.
Like
I must
what?
be a professional.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
basically.
funny. That's funny. That's funny. But I know you fought some really good fighters in your career, in the boxing career, in your glove boxing career. You fought uh, Canelo Álvarez, and you
Yeah,
fought his brother Rodrigo. I think you won your uh, title, right?
yes, sir.
Through Rodrigo Alvarez, and I think that's the reason why, if I remember correctly, because I went back and watched the fight, a very good fight between Canelo and yourself, and went the distance. And Canelo said he came back and wanted to fight you, challenge you, because you beat his brother.
Yeah. No, no, Canelo. Shout out to Canelo because honestly, during that whole build up, his people did not want him to fight me, and it
Hmm.
was him that said, "No, I need that fight."
Right,
He beat my
right.
brother. He just that and the third. So Canelo's always been that man that like went forward to make the fights that even they didn't want. Um,
Hmm.
but I remember I just kept calling for him. I was like, come on. Like, I'm the champ. He's the champ. I've been beating up this, that, and I beat his brother. It's only makes
Right,
sense
right,
that we should
right.
fight. And
Hmm.
God willing, he was down for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And that's the way I see Canelo. He's never gonna turn down a good fight. If he's gonna fight, it's gonna be somebody that's gonna challenge his skills and talent.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Except for Benavidez. We
except
we
for Benavides.
we ain't
Yes.
seen that yet.
Yeah, we have not seen that yet. Man, I don't know, man. Well, getting back to you. First, let's get back to you first. I know you fought Miguel Cotto. You fought
Hmm.
Lara, right? The Cuban fighter Lara. So you've had some challenges, and I'm sure there's some others in between there that I don't recall. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, Benavides, you're right. I don't know, man. And just not to change the subject, but let's talk a little bit about that. Do you think Benavides has well, we just saw Bud beat Canelo. Do you think Benavides could beat either of those guys? Do you think that he has
Yeah.
a good chance of
Well,
beating
yeah,
Bud?
yeah.
And
He has a chance.
well,
Has a
I mean,
chance. Had a
everybody has a
chance. Yeah,
fighter's
for sure.
chance, right? But
For
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, I
I called it a long time ago. I was like, Benavidez would be the fighter that I think could beat Canelo at both of their primes. You know what I mean? If we
mhm.
got to see in their primes, it's not in either one of their primes anymore. So I
Right,
don't know.
right,
I don't
that's
know
true.
anymore. You know,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Crawford just decisively beat Canelo. You know what I'm saying? That's not really a fight. I mean, yeah, it's a fight I would still watch. Canelo versus Benavidez, but
Mhm.
it's not as big as it would have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, in their prime time. Yeah, I got you. I
Or
got you.
just
It makes sense.
even a couple months ago, before
Yeah,
the Crawford fight was made, Benavidez Canelo was the biggest fight to be made.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I agree. Um, so getting back to you now, we've talked about your glove boxing career and where you were and uh-oh, you went off again. That's okay. He probably got another phone call. He'll come back in. There we go. So we've talked about your glove boxing career and everything, and I mean, you've done it. You were a world champion. Um, what possessed you to transition to bare knuckle boxing? That's my question.
Well, it's funny because I'm from New Mexico,
Right.
and the thing about New Mexico is there's a lot of bare knuckle boxing going on in the desert. You feel me? So
Okay.
when they presented the opportunity and it was a good fight and it was good money, and I'm like, the only the only criteria is that I have to be down to bare knuckle fight. Well, I'm down for that. I've been doing that, you know what I mean, before I started boxing with the gloves. So
There you
it
go.
wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. No, it wasn't that hard of a transition. I did have to learn and do things out of my comfort zone that's got
Mhm.
me here. You know what I mean? But it wasn't too
Mhm.
hard of a transition.
Right. I'm pretty sure bare knuckle fighting out in the middle of the desert is a lot different than fighting in the ring. Or maybe I could.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know. But I know one thing. Bare knuckle boxing has got to be painful for the hands, for getting hit. I mean, it's got to
For
be
the
a difference
hands.
for the hands. Okay.
For the hands and really, I mean, if you think about it, it just speaks to a savage point in your body. Like men used to do that, just
Exactly.
right. That's where
Yep.
the original war came from, was hand to hand combat, and it
Right.
wasn't until somebody figured out about weapons and that it got more complicated. But hand to hand combat was where we started, and it does bring out um, a certain, I don't know, je ne sais quoi, je ne sais quoi, out in men. But when it's in the controlled setting, these men are able to grow. It's crazy. And
Right.
I
Right.
train a lot of people, so I see, when the in the control setting, that vicious primal man comes out.
Hmm.
It's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
I was down to do the bare knuckle boxing right away. I thought it was
Uh-huh.
a good fit for me. People look at my boxing style, they're like, oh, he's just gonna run and stick and move. But I
Yeah.
know how to fight. You know what I mean? I know how to fight as
Right,
well.
right, right. And there's a guy that I listen to, and his name is Save Carmen. He has a school. It's called the Uma Fight Camp. I'm not sure if he's
Mm,
still doing that, but he's up in the Jersey area, and he's seen a lot of fighters at Gleason's gym and other gyms up
mm-hmm.
in the New York City area. He's been around for 50 something years. He's had an amateur boxing career. He did bare knuckle growing up as a kid. In the parks they used to, when he was 9 and 10 years old, his older brother used to set up fights for him in the park, controlled environment, the first sight of blood, something like that, fight was usually stopped. There wasn't very many knockouts because it was kind of controlled, but it's still bare knuckle. And he was saying he has watched your bare knuckle fights, and he says he can appreciate your fighting because you basically haven't really changed much in your in from boxing to the bare knuckle. It seems like you're in there boxing with the gloves, but you're actually in the bare knuckle fighting. So
Well,
he
the
can
one thing
appreciate
I've
that.
I've always said is that if you don't know how to fight, you will not be allowed to box. And,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
I'm good at boxing, but I've
mhm.
had to learn how to also be good at fighting, and in order to allow my boxing to uphold. So you got to learn some of that grit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that's an advantage for you then when you're, in the ring bare knuckle fighting? You think
Oh,
that's
absolutely,
you got that edge?
absolutely. I mean, the experience that I've gotten through boxing. I've been fighting since I was 10 years old.
Mhm,
Um, so it's definitely an advantage. Absolutely. A half step back and the jab goes a long way. And if
mhm.
they can't figure out how to do something with that, I'm just going to keep doing that. Mm,
Right, right.
for
Makes
sure.
sense, makes sense. Interesting, interesting. Um, so let me ask you this now, since we talked about those 2 things.
Mm.
You have a you actually you have a gym that's gonna be going up here, and you're gonna have an opening, maybe a soft opening, you said. Is it November, you said, I think you mentioned?
I want to get that soft opening done October. Yeah.
October, okay, so
Yes,
next month.
sir.
So
It's
can you
coming
tell
up.
people where there you go. Can you tell people where that's gonna be located? I don't know how many people are watching this that are in the Houston area, but, if you could give them kind of an idea where that's gonna be and
Yeah, yeah.
what your intent is.
6928 Farm to Market Road, 1960. It's in the Willowbrook slash Champions Park area. I, look, it's gonna be one of the only boxing gyms in the area. So if you want to come and learn how to just fight in period, fight period, I can show you. I'm so excited for it. It's coming down.
I'm
October 1st
excited
is gonna
for
be
it
our
too.
soft opening. Really, we're gonna like hit it hard as soon as we get going.
Great, great. Now, are you gonna be accepting all ages?
All ages, all levels. Whether
Mhm.
you're a professional or whether you're a novice just trying to get in shape. We're gonna make champions out of everybody.
Absolutely, that's great, man. I'm looking forward to that myself. Um, Now let me ask you this, Austin. Let me see. I forgot that question. It escaped me now. I had another question for you. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. He went off again. We'll get him back. We'll get him back. Hopefully. I hope he didn't think like the show was over with. Let's see if we can get him back. Oh boy, let's see. Let me see. Give him a call. See if he got it. Get him back. I just texted him. What a great guy he is, man. Very humble. He's just a great guy. Um, really like talking with him. Whenever I talk to him, we had great conversation. I'm not sure if he's coming back up or not. But if he isn't, well, but let's see.
Your call has been
Okay. Well, we'll give him another couple minutes. If he can't come back up, we're going to call it a show. But that was a great conversation with former WBA world champion Austin Trout. He might have thought that last question I asked him was it. But anyway. So, yep, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of stuff coming up here in the next, at least the next few months. As I said, we have a doctor, very renowned heart doctor that's going to come in, hopefully come up on the show. And we're going to talk about the cholesterol, about heart disease, diet, and some markers that we need to look out for as we age. And also, like I said, we're going to try to get Mr. Safe Carmen on here with Uma Fight Camp. If you haven't checked out his website, go check it out. It has a lot of good information on self-defense, boxing, bare knuckle boxing, all the martial arts. He knows like 9 different martial arts, so he's very experienced in that arena. So you might want to check him out as well. So I think I don't know. I don't think Austin is coming back up. I think he might have thought that was the last question of the day. But we'll try to have him back up again. I'm sure he'll agree to come back up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching the show today. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And till next time. God bless. Get strong.